Hi, so this is a lesson about introduction in writing task 1. Today we are talking about trends, graphs with a trend. Let's have a look here. So first of all, what do we see? Usually in writing task 1, you're going to describe a graph. It can be presented in many different ways. So you can have a pie chart, you can have a map, you can have a scheme showing us a particular process step by step. Today, we are discussing only one type. Right, so typically, your writing task 1 should be of at least 150 words, and you are recommended to spend 20 minutes out of 60, which are given for a writing part, Niles. Here, your writing task 1 should contain 4 paragraphs usually. Let's have a look. What are these paragraphs? Okay, I think I will put myself away from here. Okay, right. So first of all, you write an introduction. What is the introduction? How do you write it? It's typically just one sentence only. And in this sentence, you have to paraphrase your task. Well, what is your task then? Here, well, all right. So what is your task then? This is your, I'm sorry, haven't been using Zoom in a while. So this is your task. Usually right above the graph, you will see some information about it, including what is the graph about, about the location. Usually it's related to a particular country or city, and of course the time frame. This is only relevant for that kind of graphs where we have particular period and change within time. But normally in any kind of writing task 1, you will see a little piece of information. So let's come back to the structure. In order to write introduction, you just simply paraphrase this sentence. That's it. Right. Here. So at this point, you have to take notes. This is how you write your intro. Next step. Next paragraph is overview. So what do we mean by overview is just general view of the graph. Here you describe anything that you find looking at the graph, all the general changes. Usually it's about, is it going up? Is it going down? Well, as well, you can write about something which is out of general pattern. For example, if you can see that, okay, maybe if I see that 2 graphs here, they go up, right? And this one is going down, blue one. So I can write about it. Yeah, so it's interesting as well as about this one, for example. Everything is going up and down while only this one is stable. About how to write overview, we're gonna talk on the next lesson, hopefully. Right, so what are we doing? In overview, we typically write about this. We can also include some information of, for example, what was the highest, what was the most popular thing, the least popular thing, generally. And your overview also serves you as a plan for your main body because it is actually giving you high score for integrity of your task, for your coherence and cohesion if you first in your overview put general picture, okay, they are rising, this is falling. And then you, in your details, you follow the same order, just like you mentioned. For example, if you mentioned that first these 2 things are rising, and your details also start with this, and This would be good. Okay. Well, what about details? These are two paragraphs. Finally, they don't consist of just one sentence. By the way, overview can typically consist of one or two. All right. Well, so let's see what we have here next. Second, clear that up. And let's continue. Here are two paragraphs. You write, no matter how many lines you see on the graph, how many things you group everything into two paragraphs. We'll talk about it later, but generally in these parts, you write in detail, well, as the name suggests. While in overview, you don't write any numbers, any labels. For example, here we can see yearly income. It's given, yeah, like 180,000. Yeah, we don't write about it in overview. We only can see something general, like goes up, goes down. That's it. All right. So next. Okay. Well, I suggest you to complete this task. Please read these statements carefully and look at the graph. Then try to answer true or false next to each of these statements. All right, here I suggest you to pause the video, put it on stop, and think. Okay, so here are the answers. And you may also write down some phrases such as upward trend. Upward trend, you can see for Bernie's bonds, which is green. Yeah, it goes up. Therefore, the trend, the change is up, going up. Fluctuated significantly. So here, Robbie's Bakery, red, it's false. In the first part of the period between 2000, 2000 and 2004, it's stable. It doesn't go anywhere. While fluctuated means go up, down, like that. All right. And the last one, decline. Please read this word correctly. I'll ask you. Many people confuse how to read it. And generally, all the words related to going down, they typically have D at the beginning of the word. So now, let's see how exactly we should paraphrase our introduction. Yeah, how we write our introduction. Here you can see a task. Yeah, we don't have a graph, but it's okay. It's right enough for us. Let's think how we could paraphrase. What words should I put in the gaps so that I have the same information as written here? Again, pause the video, think about it. Okay, so here are the answers. This is what you're supposed to think about. Note, please write down these two examples, or just at least put on slash. You can write the graph shows slash illustrates data slash information about how many people visited slash the number of people who visited Australia over an 8-year period. Right. I really need to drink water. Just a second. I just don't know how to pause the recording. So yeah, I'll just go away for a while. For this time, what you can do is to look at the graph here and to notice how it's important to investigate your graph first, even without your task given here. Yeah, you need to understand in order to paraphrase it correctly. what is the graph about? So now look at the graph. I'm going for some water, otherwise I can't speak any longer. All right, final I'm back. Okay, right. So here I suggest you to look at units, categories, keys. Yeah, so it's all important to understand your graph properly. For example, here we'll give an average price, hotel room, right? So you need to know how to paraphrase it, right? If we talk about that matter that we had here, yes, you can say how much money people paid for a hotel room, right? This is another word, another phrase to say price. Yep, sometimes in order to paraphrase, we just simplify. Instead of price, we say money people pay. Okay. So here, if you look at these two possible beginnings of introductions, you can see that there is a difference. Read it carefully and think. Why? Why he has a put how much, the amount. He has a put how many, the number of. Well, as you may guess it, coffee is not countable. All things such as sugar, water, coffee, whatever, which can be called, which can be counted by piece 1, 2, 3, would be written as how much and would be written as amount of. By the way, you can also notice there is one more word that you can use. Yeah, highlights, data, highlights. Yep. Okay. So far for introduction, we have shows, illustrates, highlights. You can also add the word compare. Now, I really suggest you to stop and try to finish these sentences. It's supposed to be the graph shows information about how much coffee was produced in Kenya, blah, blah, blah. The amount of coffee which was produced. Right. So here we can notice that we say was produced because it's not countable, which because it's not the living object. Let's talk about this one. How many cars were sold? Were sold. This place you need to revise third form of the verbs, regular ones, particular. Okay. The last one is the number of cars which were sold. That's easy. Okay. Here, so far we understood that how much I would use for not countable things, how many for countable ones. Same way with number, many, amount, much. Right. I suggest you to stop this video as well again and think. How would you say, how would you write, even try writing possible introductions for number 2 and 3. After, in a moment, let's say in a moment, I'll tell you some trick here, which you probably didn't consider. Right, basically here, with DVD, it's okay. Yeah, the graph shows information about how many DVDs were sold in the UK and the USA. Be careful, but before UK, USA, we put the. Well, chocolate. This might be tricky. chocolate if you don't talk about chocolate sweets, chocolate bars, yeah, like Snickers, chocolate tiles, anything like that. We can't call it countable. So that here I would rather say amount of chocolate which was produced, or how much chocolate was produced in Colombia. All right. So finally, let's summarize what we understood about the introduction. Have a look again, this graph. Oh, I guess we were talking about this graph, right? Maybe. I forgot. Well, so if you look at these possible introductions ABC, pause the video, look properly, read properly, and you will understand that B is the best introduction here, while A is too general. If you rate it, number of people who went to museums, well, your introduction should really introduce your reader into what's going on. If you say, oh, museums, but we have here two particular ones, it's not random, so it's too general. It's not our choice. As well, I have no idea what period it is, but there is a period. All right, in C, it could be good because it mentioned two museums, yeah, but I have no idea what are the periods here given again, but they are here. If they are here on the picture, you have to say about them. And this is what you have in B. Right. So here we done. Thank you for coming to this class. This is your homework. Look at these graphs. Try writing introductions for them and bring them to the next class. Thank you.